Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Nat20Hot, a Dungeons and Dragons stream. You'll notice something a little different today. We are down a party member while they are spending a wonderful time in Italia and other countries throughout Europe, and not with us, which is their loss, quite frankly. No, we're all thrilled for him and hope he has a
I
wonderful
miss
time.
Bort.
We miss him dearly.
Bring back
Um,
Bort.
so
Bring back Bort.
instead of canceling, we are having a one-shot set in the Euson universe, which is where our greater campaign takes place. If you're joining us for the first time, this particular session takes place hundreds of years in the past from our current campaign. So one might even say 300 BC before campaign.
Whoa.
um, and it is a rugged, even far more rugged frontier landscape that our characters face. And where we find ourselves, actually, I totally forgot my spiel. I'm sorry. We stream for fun, but we also stream for Extra Life, a wonderful charity that supports children's hospitals around the country. And we've raised $10 so far, and it's been 8, 9, 10 weeks. So if you'd like to make a
That was me.
contribution, it was
I get
internal as well.
$10.
So if you would like to make a contribution to our team, do
I'm
check
gonna
out the
donate
link
10 more dollars right
in
now.
our chat. That's 20,
I
which
will only donate if you can assure me none of the money will go to Canada.
you can actually
Ooh.
designate a hospital in your area that you would like to attribute the
Oh,
funds to. For instance, I send my money to Albany Children's Hospital, and it goes and supports life saving and critical care for children in need. So, wonderful charity. Highly
the
recommend
link
check
is
it
still
out.
broken on the website.
And I'll fix that. Thank you. Um, and also have a conversation with whomever is managing our website. It's
Oh wait,
Brett,
no, there's two links. There's two links.
and one of them is fixed, right?
Yeah, one of them's fine.
All
Is
right.
Brett managing our website?
No, it's me.
Oh,
All right. So we have three characters with us today. We'll give everybody an opportunity to describe their characters and welcome them. However, where we find ourselves is on a rugged dirt road cutting through an old growth arboreal forest in the western reaches of Euson, not far from the major port city of Mercier, which sits on the western coast of the continent. And where we find ourselves is following two individuals, a elderly petite woman with flowing braided white locks and a rugged grizzled adventurer with a bit of a hitch in his giddy up as they make their way down the rugged, not so well trodden path towards the request that came to their Long Hunters Guild in the city of Mercier as Gramby and Vyke, if you would like to describe your characters as you make your way down the road.
um, sure. Have you ever seen a picture of acclaimed actor Timothy Olyphant?
Yes.
Because that's pretty much what Vike looks like, except he's only got one eye and he's got a prosthetic wooden leg. As Chris mentioned, he looks very grizzled,
Okay.
and he simply loves walking through the forest. And maybe likes Granby. I haven't decided yet.
All right. Granby.
Sorry. It's me, Gramby. Wait, what are we describing?
The way
Who?
our characters look.
Your character?
I'm I'm the tiniest little old lady. I'm very short and very old, and I got big glasses, and I'm currently knitting something that's supposed to be a sweater, but it looks like not that.
If it was not already abundantly clear, as soon as you take constraints off of a campaign, this is what you get. Um, as you all make your way down the path, it is a very warm summer day, um, and the leaves are lush and green. The temperature is quite high now that the sun is rising in the sky. And the road ahead is, one you know well. It is going to take you pretty much straight through to Conway's Ferry. However, you are breaking off this, decently trodden path, like the more established road, and off to a more like hunting trail that you've picked up along the side of the road that you were told to look out for. Neither of you have been this way. A lot of this terrain, especially um, in this part of the continent, is still undocumented. There's the major city of Mercier, where you're hailing from, Conway's Ferry, which is a major trading town, and the dwarven city of Katadine. But for the most part, everything in it is still very much wilderness. You're following the hunting trail for some time, looking for a little individual who's apparently hailed you down. And after some time, you do inevitably arrive at a kind of juncture in this road where you see a little halfling teenager kind of squatting on a stump. If I was going to call you Dunk, and then I went to Bort. Evan, if you'd like to introduce your character.
Stangelo Kale. I'm a bear scout for the AGSE, the All Gender Scouts of Euson. Uh, thank you so much for coming out here. I came to these parts looking for a place to set up a little shop, a little stand, if you will, to sell popcorn. Which, by the way, would y'all like to buy some popcorn? Support the All Gender Scouts of Euson?
You just the nicest young man. I'd pull out a couple of coins and I'd give them to him.
Ah, a customer, great. Poplio, get that down. And my little dwarf manservant is gonna
You have a manservant?
Poplio, my little dwarf friend, butler man,
Sure.
jot down my
I would like to
transaction.
do a sort of lore check. Is the popcorn sold by the All Gender Scouts of Yusan good?
It's actually very good, but it's
Okay.
it's overpriced.
Okay. Uh, how many gold pieces for your popcorn, young man?
5.
Dungeon, he's here.
I sort of feel around in my coin purse and I have 10 gold coins and I begrudgingly give you 5.
Yes.
It's better be
Oh,
worth
look
it.
at us supporting the youth. I'm
Hey.
still knitting. It doesn't make sense.
Well,
You are Oh, sorry. Go ahead, young man.
this is a great start to my progress towards my mercantilism badge.
Mm.
But I was trying to set up a stand here, and I think there's some kind of spooky stuff going on with this little town. Uh,
As he
so I called in
gestures,
the Wall Hunters.
yeah, as he gestures down the road, it is a couple hundred yards down, so you can't really see too much, especially because it seems to be quite overgrown. The hunting path that you've been walking for a bit now is starting to look less and less visible amongst the undergrowth. The trees have kind of crept in along the path. It's clearly not being maintained anymore. But down the ways, you can make out a little bit of a wooden palisade kind of jutting out from between the trees. And what looks to be an overgrown signpost that you can't really read all too well from where you are right now. But for the most part, you get the semblance of a town further down the road.
Where are you from, young man?
Oh, well, I grew up in Mercier with my parents, but oh, that estate just it wasn't really for me. I really wanted to come out to the rugged wilderness of Conway's Ferry. Uh, so I need somewhere where I could work on my wilderness survival badge, and
Sure.
so I, got this little shack, and the I was actually able to get Poplio to sign off for me because I had to take a shower in like lukewarm tap water. Wasn't even like nice like fountains or anything. It's just so wild.
Vyke will sort of smell himself, noting that he has not taken a shower in at least 2 weeks.
I smell like lavender.
Yes, and Werther's originals, probably.
Yes, would you like one?
Yes, Gramby.
Okay, here you go.
Let's say
Which
no over.
one? Oh, ago. I remember when I was just a young adventurer.
Is
That's
there
it.
a...
I wasn't going to elaborate.
I was going to ask if there was a follow-up, but thank you for clarifying.
No, it was just a long time ago.
Ah, yes, well, you said spooky things in town. What sort of spooky things might that be?
Oh, it's just like a ghost town, no customers at all. And there was one kind of shifty looking person, looked kind of like a maybe person, but then when I went to go investigate it, nothing was there.
Interesting. Well, shall we go investigate?
Oh, yes, let's go.
Indeed.
Right. You all make your way down the path, kind of stepping over some overgrown roots and such, and the small outcropping of structures that lies ahead of you starts to become more clear, and actually evolves into quite a rather developed settlement, which is a bit surprising, given what you know of the area. It's not uncommon, or rather, it's quite uncommon for there to be such a presence of civilization without the Long Hunters Guild being aware of it. However, as you get closer, even from a relative distance that you're at right now, it's clear that the buildings are quite dilapidated at this point. Scorch marks kind of dot the ramshackle timber walls that surround this little hamlet. Like crude fences kind of jut out from outside the palisade, where fields of grain and pastures clearly existed at one point, but are now since overgrown. Um, there is an archway leading into the town, with that signpost perched next to it that is largely overgrown at this point. Um, but to on the sign at the moment, there are only 5 letters: an AL, a number of spaces, and ONE. On the ground, you can clearly see some of the other letters that have fallen off of the sign.
That's crazy that there were more letters because this spells out a word.
I look down. What are the letters?
You see a V, E, S, and a T. That also spells out a word.
Crazy.
A
I'll
lone
I'll
vest.
have I'll a less a less phone. Alveston.
Do you have a
Uh,
Scrabble badge you can work on?
Oh, wait, I think I have bananagrams in my pouch.
any of you can make a
Think
perception check if you'd like to.
yeah, I would.
Young man, do you want to play a game of bananagrams with an old lady? That's a wait, are we doing investigation or perception?
Perception.
I perceived 13.
I perceived 12.
I did not perceive that 6.
Gramby and Vyke, you can both hear a kind of rhythmic banging sound coming from inside the
Oh my
walls.
god, what are they? My upstairs neighbor? Crazy.
Good for them.
For real though, oh my god.
Um, coming from inside what?
The palisade. Like you have not entered the palisade yet, but you can hear coming from inside the town a rhythmic banging sound.
Hello?
The noise continues.
This is
It's quite
odd.
sharp and like perpetual, like almost it's rhythmic. But given how loud it is to you, imagine it's probably even louder inside.
Oh, Kevin,
Well,
why don't we let the young man check it out?
I will gladly scout out the area.
Okay.
Pablo, you best stay here. So I'll go walk in.
Okay. As you enter the town, you find it mostly empty, just as you did earlier. Everything looks pretty, desperate need of repair. Given your posh upbringing, you're kind of turned off and grimacing at everything that you see. And much as you felt earlier, it seems vacant, no bustle, no people milling about. But just past the gate, off to the right, you find the source of the rhythmic banging noise, which is a small, crude, like lumber and blacksmith mill that's kind of spread out before you, kind of almost propped up in shambles. It doesn't look like it belongs. And under the open air mill, this kind of slender figure feverishly is just banging away with a hammer on metal, back and forth, back and forth. Um, and to this point, you don't believe that they've noticed you.
Hello.
They look up suddenly, like frantically looking around for the source. Uh, uh, hi. Um, sorry. Welcome to Valestone. Welcome, welcome. Not used to visitors. Um, she seems almost embarrassed. She has this very unkempt ponytail high on her head, but like some loose strands kind of fall around over like a pretty dirty face. Much like Vyke, you get the sense that she has not bathed in some time, but obscures her kind of pale blue eyes and what is very clearly a massive scar across her face. She's wearing this very heavy leather apron over a simple patchy tunic, and a sizable tool belt kind of rests at an angle off of her waist. It falls pretty uncomfortably. It looks far too large for her. She's a very dainty figure. And she is the only other thing that you clearly notice that she is barefoot.
Hmm. Uh, hello, good woman. What's going on with your town, with Valestone?
Just, uh, you know, she looks around. She says, "Oh, yes, a little bit behind on chores, are we not? Lots to do around here. Always busy, busy. We have to keep ourselves quite busy, busy. But you know, there are other folks around here. They just keep their business pretty good. You know, we don't like to bother them because they are also just very busy, busy. Yeah, but don't let me keep you. I'm sure you have lots to do yourself. Just feel free to explore the town and enjoy your stay in Valestone. Yes, we are quite lucky to have you stop by. But just many things to get done around here. You see.
The way you say that kind of sounds like it doesn't. Um, is there something that like
I
I should
wouldn't,
know
I wouldn't
about?
know what you mean. It's just lots to do, as you can see, and we all keep quite busy, busy. What was that, Grandy?
Inside track.
Assuming you are entering and hearing the conversation,
I'm
yes.
not. I'm standing outside
Okay.
with
Uh,
my good friend.
Yes. What are
okay.
you two doing?
I'm sitting there knitting my tangle of yarn, and I ask, "Oh, Vincent, how is your daughter doing?"
Sorry, Granby, are you referring to me?
Yes, Vincent.
Uh, yes, my name is not Vincent. It is Vyke.
Oh shit, for real?
Yes. No, it is Vyke. And my daughter is quite well. Thank you for asking. How are your many or few progeny? I am not
Oh,
sure.
they're off doing whatever.
Vyke also turns to Poplio and goes, "So are you the boy's slave?"
Look, his his parents pay me so much god's damn money to just follow this little shite around.
Yes.
I can retire in 2 months. I just turned 107 just Tuesday.
Congratulations. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, so I just follow this guy around.
Well,
It was
let's
wonderful.
let's get him this badge that he needs and get our money, and then hopefully you can
Oh,
go on with
wait,
your retirement.
Pablo, I have something that you might enjoy. And I just hand him a flask.
Master has given Poplio a flask. Sorry. Uh, much Much obliged, milady.
I'll carry one around, or a couple.
It's definitely full of like rumplemans.
It's
Yeah.
it's really aged tequila.
I was about to say, he doesn't have a stat block, but can he roll to sniff the contents?
Sure.
Actually, no, it's
that's actually
moonshine that
nat
he
20.
made. It's moonshine that she made herself a number of
Hundreds
years
of
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
A number of years ago.
Perfect.
It was back in my alcohol making phase.
Oh, well, we all have one of those.
Oh, we do.
Among your many phases, Gramby, which was your favorite?
Oh,
We're gonna get nowhere.
We're gonna spend 3 hours just like chilling outside.
The Gramby lore.
that came to my mind was the serial killer phase.
I was quite prolific.
Oh, I was just feeling a little silly.
Dozens of bodies, dozens.
But she just says it's a serial killer phase, but in reality, she's listening to like the fantasy equivalent of podcast, which is just like people talking in the town square about
Oh yes, that's
serial
exactly
killers.
what she means. Yeah, no, that's exactly. It was when she was investigating serial killers.
Why true crime?
Oh
now?
yes, so many bodies in many places, so much blood. It was very fun for me. Kept my mind busy.
Certainly. Perhaps we should go check on the young master.
Who?
As you two make your way into town, Stangelo, or Stangelo, I'm not really quite sure how you pronounce it. What are you doing?
Angelo.
Stangelo.
Yeah, these guys in this town, they seem odd, but I guess
Just a little
maybe
distant. I wouldn't worry too much about them, but you probably want to take some time and go shopping. You can certainly feel to check out Hildy's. She's a doll, but really she's quite busy with her store. So I really should be busy with my work, you know.
very busy.
Yes.
Um,
I'm going to leave you so that you can do your thing, and I do hope that we meet again. But enjoy your stay in Valestone. Yes. And she's going to attempt to just kind of like scurry off.
can I see where she's scurrying to?
She kind of heads off. So the town, now that you're in it, is quite circular. It's not quite. It is pretty circular. And feel free to make a perception check to kind of take a better look at the or investigation check. And as Vyke and Gramby enter, you two can do the same.
We're investigating.
Yes.
13.
Oh, 3.
I investigate 9.
So, Stangelo, you can see that, like, most of the buildings are in a poor state of repair. They all laid out in a circle. So as you kind of stepped into the gate, to the left is this kind of blacksmith lumber mill, um, ramshackle arrangement that's been kind of propped up in the entrance of the town, with a building to its left and a building immediately to your right that seem in decent enough condition. Hildy's was where the individual had pointed you to, is the building right next to you on your right. Then there are a number of buildings in each direction that are just completely burned to the ground. And then you see 3 other buildings on the far end of the circle, kind of the opposite semicircle, that are in a reasonable enough state of repair that suggests that someone might be there. But beyond that, you don't see anything of note. And then there's also like a generic town square that you could theoretically pass through.
I don't notice anything because I'm too busy telling Pop Leo about my first husband.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, um,
And
I
sorry, to
guess
answer your original question, you do not see where the individual kind of hustles off to.
I didn't get her name. I guess I will check out the shop that she mentioned.
Okay.
Hildy's?
Hildy's, yes. Gramby, Vyke, I presume you're a company.
Of course.
Oh, yes.
It is the closest building to the front gate. And at some point, it might have resembled a very cute little shop, but it's clearly fallen into disrepair here. White paint that once adorned the wooden walls have flaked away from the aspen timbers, but you can kind of make out a cast shadow of Hildy's Emporium is scrawled kind of lovingly over the doorway in lavender script, which is a bit more compact, like it's a bit lower to the ground. Um, Flowery vines are kind of painted up and down each side of the door, and there appears to be a shaft of an arrow or a crossbow bolt kind of protruding from the door. A small bed of white daisies is kind of placed off to the side. But yeah, the door kind of creaks open in and out as though it cannot formally shut. Assuming you enter.
Um, yeah, I'll poke my head in and kind of take a look around cautiously.
Okay, make a perception check.
That one.
You don't really notice anything of note. If anything, it seems that it is empty. Like you don't
Can
see
I
anything of.
also
Yeah, sure. You can attempt to take a
make a
peek in.
similar check? Is this perception or investigation?
Perception.
10?
You can see a good amount, but like Stangelo is not wrong. It does look pretty empty inside, but there is more than meets the eye that he did not notice at first. There are some
I
like
just waddle up.
uh,
Can't stop grabbing.
as Granby waddles into the store, you do find a few shelves of canned goods and housewares, but pretty much everything is covered in a thick layer of dust. Um, what did you roll? You rolled a 10?
Yes.
Okay. So everything's kind of covered in this thick layer of dust, and a lot of the shelves are largely empty. However, behind the counter, there appears to be a halfling woman who's kind of sitting behind the counter, her hands folded like politely on the countertop, like placed gently atop it, and her eyes are closed. Her hair is kind of pulled back into this neat white bonnet, and she kind of sits very still. It doesn't even really move as you come in.
I waddle on up.
As you approach, the eyes kind of flash open, like and blink frantically and unfocus. And then she kind of twists around just a little bit, and like her hand flies up in a very like atypical manner. Just, don't be shy, loves. Come in, welcome. Welcome to Hildy's Emporium. Finest shop in the land, if I do say so myself. What can we do's for ya?
Oh, young lady, what a wonderful shop you have. How long have you been working here?
Oh, yes, lovely, isn't it? Our little slice of paradise in a sea of green. How long have I been working here? Oh, it must be 30, 40 years now.
Oh, and has it been busy lately?
No, not very busy. I like to stay busy, always busy, busy here. But for the most part, uh, not really much coming on, not many folks coming and going.
Vike is going to run his finger through a thick trail of dust on the counter and be like, "You don't keep the place very tidy, do you?"
Her hands kind of like drop down and she looks over at you. Her head tilts. She goes, well, so much to do, so busy, busy. It is, there's really just so much to do around the town, and we're so grateful that Mora is here to help us. But for the most part, I really just focus on serving our wonderful guests that come through here like yourselves.
I'm gonna sort of like sidle over to Stangelo and be like, "Is she doing something strange with her arms?"
Young lady, it looks like you're just terribly stiff. I think I have some bond that I made myself.
Oh no, you're so a sweet love,
Oh,
but you
no.
don't need to worry about me. There's you know, Nothing you need to worry about with me. It's just if there's anything that I can help with you finding me shop, I'd be more than happy to help you find it.
Granby's gonna narrow her little eyes and make an insight check on this lady.
Go ahead.
I'm sharp as a whip, I swear it. That is a 15.
Um, you get the sense that something is not right with this woman, in the sense that for the first time, as you kind of scan and look closely, um, the movement of her mouth does not line up with the words that are coming out of it. Um, and you can now make a investigation check at advantage if you'd like to.
Yes, please. Oh my god.
2 nat 20s. Oh, 2 nat
Two nat
1s.
ones. Your aging eyesight isn't really able to catch on anything
Oh.
else. But Vike, given like your kind of um, scooping your finger through the dust and Gramby's questioning, you can also make an investigation check.
I am
Advantage or
going
no?
to just move my little hand behind my back and I'm just gonna go like keep it moving. But I'm just gonna start telling this lady about how I met my first husband.
Okay, Vike, just with regular roll for investigation.
Okay. Well, I rolled 2 17s, even though it was a regular roll, so I guess it doesn't count.
You notice,
That would be an 18 on the die.
yes.
Or an
So
18.
you are able to see. You kind of squint your eye. The light is not favorable in this room. The windows are quite dusty, so the sunlight is not trickling in. There's no lanterns or candles lit in any
I
particular
do
way.
have superior dark vision.
So you're able, but even
Look,
still, with the lack of clarity in the room, but it takes some squinting, you aren't able to discern, kind of catching in the light, these little strings that come down from the ceiling and attach to some of the body parts of the individual in front of you. And you see that they are, in fact, made of wood and metal, and that they are not actually a real being in front of you.
I turn to Stangelo and I go, lady's a fucking puppet.
It is so nice to have visitors here. You know, a couple of years or two back, we had some rough types swing through, but they didn't stay very long. So we were grateful for that, and it's grateful to see new folks coming through. Look at me, so emotional, thinking about the old days. If there's anything else, nothing else I can get you, I might have to ask that you leave my shop. I have much to do. Always staying quite busy, you know.
wait, but I'm gonna knit this sweater for you. I swear, I need to take your measurements.
Oh, I am in no need of measurements or sweaters. It's very kind of you, but truly don't worry about it at all.
I'll take a look at
Ah,
your wares.
Sure, please feel free to help yourself to anything on the cabinets or the counters, and I'll give you a fair price for it, fairest price this side of the wilderness.
Hildy, if you don't mind me asking, what keeps you so dreadfully busy?
There's just so much to do around the town. Surely you can see it. Things that must be kept, floors that must be swept, counters that must be dusted. Really, just so many things to do.
Yes, but your counter is not dusted.
Right, I must be getting to it. So if you'd be such a doll and leave me with some time to get to it, I'd be more than grateful.
Who's in charge of the town?
Charge of the town. Well, I suppose that would. That's a very difficult question. They're quite busy, so if you spend some time looking around, I'm sure you'll find someone who is in charge. But I suppose the closest thing would be Elder Jennings, but they might be able to help you.
Are you aware that you are made of wood?
Made of wood. I wouldn't have any idea what you're saying. It's very kind of you to point something out about my figure, but it's also impolite to speak about a woman's body in such a way.
Uh, Vike will sort of lift a pant leg and show off his prosthetic wooden leg and go, I'm also made of wood a little bit.
Oh goodness, this is quite something. We have something in common. But really, I really must be going. If you need anything at all, do reach out to one of the other denizens of Valestone. I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. But I myself, at the moment, am very busy.
Okay, young
Understand that
lady,
is
are you eating enough? You should probably eat more, but we'll be going. Here's a muffin.
Well, thank you very much, but don't worry about little old Hildy. As I said, feel free to help yourself to anything on the counter for a fair price. And Stangela, as you're kind of scanning the counters, you do find like kind of some basic goods, ropes, some tools that all look quite used, and then jerky and dusty jars of pickles.
I'm going to pass, but thank you so much for your hospitality.
Oh, it's my pleasure, dear.
I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you. Busy as
Um,
always.
I'm gonna as I waddle out of the shop, I'm gonna tug on Vyke?
Yep. Not Vincent.
Vyke's little sleeve. Oh, young man, I was just trying to stall, but I could sense there was something deeply wrong with that young lady.
Yes, she's made of wood, and strings connected to the ceiling were guiding her limbs.
Oh, like a puppet lady.
Yes. Have you ever seen or heard of anything like that, dear Granby?
Ah, yes, I have puppets.
Uh, Puppets that are alive, though?
Well, they were made of wood.
Very strange. As we leave, I'll turn to Stangelo and I'll go, You were talking to somebody else when we came in. Were they also a puppet?
They were odd. They kept saying busy, busy, like she was.
Busy,
Yes.
busy.
Like that.
Yes.
Are you made of wood? And I'm gonna give a little like on her like leg.
Oh, you lay hands at an old lady.
Have you no concern for a woman's virtue?
A
I
blight
just
upon
had to
our
make sure.
society.
I'm an inquisitive scout. I had to be sure.
Oh, I'm just
Yes, well,
playing with you,
inquisitiveness
young
has its
man.
limits, young man.
I'm a lot heartier than I look, even though I do have a dexterity of 8.
I don't know what that means.
It's like if you put a numerical scale to it, something we did in the old days.
Interesting,
This
Granby.
elder Jennings, elder something,
Elder Jennings,
uh,
yes.
Jennings, seems like they may be the closest thing to somebody in charge. Maybe they're the ones pulling the
Pulling the
little string.
strings.
Literal strings.
Oh.
I would like to do one experiment before we leave, and I will re-enter the shop.
Oh, look at him go.
As you
Oh, he's
re-enter,
pinnacle.
what are you looking for? Anything in particular as you enter?
What is Hildy's reaction to my re-entrance?
Hildy sits motionless, her hands kind of perched atop the counter, and her eyes shut as you walk in. If you continue,
I do.
she once again kind of snaps up, blinks. Oh, welcome, dearie. Well, what brings you back here? Did you decide you wanted to sample some of me wares?
Oh, sorry. I think I dropped something on the floor.
Okay.
I wanted to come look for it. I'm always dropping talismans.
Okay. Are you investigating the floor?
Sure, I'll investigate the floor. That
Okay.
was a convenient excuse for me, though.
Oh, got it. Yeah, make an investigation check.
That's a nat 1.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary besides a very dilapidated and dusty floor.
What a perfectly ordinary floor. I fiddle around for a bit and say, yes, pardon me, I will be going. Good luck with your wares, madam.
All the best to you.
Okay. I walk back to my companions and I say, she did remember me when I walked in, but she was also doing that creepy thing where she has her eyes closed and her hands folded.
Is she still being a puppet, like strings and things?
I do believe so, yes. I do not think she would
Hmm.
spontaneously become flesh.
So should we go look at this Elder Jennings, or should I cause a little trouble?
Oh, I didn't know if trouble was an option. Um,
Oh, trouble is always an option, young man.
seems like it when Granby's around.
Do you have
Oh,
a skullduggery badge you need to accomplish? Perhaps a mischief.
Mm, mischief, mischief. There was a badge about community engagement. That's close enough, right? Papa, you'd sign off for it,
oh,
right? I yes, community engagement. Let's do it.
Uh, Granby, can I ask what kind of trouble you're going to cause?
oh. I just love knitting so much. I think that if you can point out some of those nice threads, they may look wonderful in this sweater.
Do you want to knit Granby into a sweater? Oh, sorry, you're Granby. Hildy into
Me?
a sweater? No!
Me?
No, I misspoke, excuse me.
No! You need to grab me into sweat.
No, pardon me. Woman's virtue.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, so gentlemanly. What a polite young man.
Perhaps
What?
we can look at this Elder Jennings and see if he has strings, and then if he does, you could knit those into a sweater.
Oh, and then we won't do the mischief right now. All right.
Perhaps
Lead
not.
the way,
mischief,
young man.
young Stangelo, perhaps you could take the lead.
Oh, I was talking to both of you. You're so young.
Sure thing, Granby. So yeah, I guess I will find this Elder Jennings.
I do the grandma
only
thing and
3
sneak
days.
5 gold pieces into his pockets. Not subtly at all.
If you were my grandmother, you'd be adding Smarties into the mix. So you
Your
can't really
grandma. Oh,
go ahead,
never mind.
Mike. No,
I
please.
was just gonna say, if you were my grandmother, you'd be dead.
God rest their soul.
Same.
Same.
Slay.
to dead grandparents.
Oh my god, is this my first one-shot PC that you guys have liked?
Jury's still out.
Granby's no Beano, I'll give you that much.
Oh my god!
Granby.
That's like my worst nightmare is them returning. Um, so you're unable to discern like which in particular might be Elder Jennings' house. There are still a number of buildings. So there is a dilapidated, kind of destroyed building to further next to the Hildy's shop that you just left from, and another building on the far side of it. It looks like more like to be like a little bit of a farm. But then to the left, beyond where you entered, there is probably the second largest building in town that you can see that is still standing. It's kind of old Tudor style house that you can kind of get a sense of. And then there are obviously two other buildings on the far side that you have not looked at and can't really get a good look at from this angle.
Hmm.
Well, if there's anything I know about rich people, it's that they like big houses that are more expensive.
We do.
Oh, you're one of them, aren't you?
I mean, my parents have money.
Oh, generational wealth, I see.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it's fine.
The generational wealth is annoying.
Yeah, people always like wanting stuff and like I don't know. I don't understand why other people just don't have like butlers to do stuff for them. Like, why are they always asking us to do stuff?
I tug on Vyke's shoulder or sleeve again.
Yes, Granby.
I don't trust this young man.
I mean, we don't have to trust him. He's just paying us to be here.
We could shake him and rob him in the woods.
Granby, he's just a young lad.
kid.
You don't buy a man's
Sometimes-
popcorn and then shank him.
Sometimes my anarchic face comes back out.
I would love to hear more about your phases at some point, Granby. But
I
do
start
believe.
pulling out a little revolutionary beret.
Yes. So the elder's house. Let's go to this nice looking
We
house.
could burn it all to the ground, Mike.
I look around and I say, I think somebody's already attempted to do that here.
Oh, okay, I'll hold off for now. Just say the word, young man.
He pulls out a lighter. The flame calls to me.
I pull out a lighter. I pull out another bottle of tequila, but that has already a rag in it.
Okay.
Also, gasoline that makes it better.
Where are you going?
Gramby is a traveled woman.
I've lived a long life. How long, nobody knows.
Yes.
Anyway, what's
So,
happening?
Elder
Elton
Jennings.
Jennings.
None of this was said quietly. Gramby thought she was quiet, but it wasn't quiet.
I guess we'll knock on the door of the nice looking house.
The Tudor house.
Yes.
He said toot.
So it is a Tudor style building with white plastered walls. It's just beyond the kind of ramshackle mill that's been put together. Um, but a lot of the wooden like shake roof appears to be badly burned and missing. So there are a lot of holes and gaps in the roof. There are three flower beds with white daisies out front. Um, and there's actually like not a door necessarily to knock on. It's more of like a swinging
Saloon style.
saloon style, yes. So as you approach the door and go to knock, you can see this is actually not someone's house, but rather it appears to be a tavern inside.
Is it an occupied tavern?
Make a perception check.
16.
Yes, you are. So, Stangelo and Vyke, you are able to see that much like the Hildy's Emporium, pretty much dust covers every potential surface. Like streams of light are coming in from the gaping holes in the roof and just show a shimmering array of dust kind of accumulating in the open air. Um, and you can see a handful of individuals inside, but they don't appear to be moving. Just because of the way the sun is shining, kind of silhouetting the figures inside, you can't really make out too much.
I turn to Granby and I go, I believe there's more puppets in there.
No, I could cause some mischief. Just say the word.
Young Stangelo, do you want to move on? I don't assume this would be Elder Jennings' residence.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like Elder Jennings. We'll return here after we figure out like kind of a little bit more about what's going on.
Yes, perhaps we can get a
Okay.
stiff drink.
Yes.
All right. So you're gonna keep walking through the circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You walk along this kind of central path that spirals throughout the town, and you're walking around this like stone patio almost that makes up the center of the town, where there's a little well and some overgrown shrubbery of a place where there used to clearly be a seating area. And you walk past a couple of homes that have clearly burned to the ground and leave very little remnants beyond the charred remains that kind of sit in the circle alongside the road. But inevitably, you come to the largest building in the circle. And as you kind of look back to where you've come from, a lot of the overgrowth and shrubs in the well mask this place where you've entered. Um, but this is a very nice looking house ahead of you, and the door is shut. Um, that's the end of my
This
sentence.
house does not appear to be dilapidated at all.
No, it is it has been affected by a fire for sure. There's like kind of scorch marks on the western wall of the building, right next to where a burned building sits in kind of a large heap. A large patch of the roof is very clearly missing, much like the tavern that you walked past. And then you're starting to see a pattern across a lot of these houses. There is a small bed of now wildflowers that kind of exist outside of this house.
Um, I guess I'll knock on the door. Or can I like peek through like a window or something?
Yeah, you can investigate through a window if you'd like.
I'm gonna try to do so stealthily.
Okay. You can make a stealth check and an investigation check.
Well, the stealth is only 9, so probably
Okay.
not. Investigation 17.
Okay. You kind of rub away some of the dirt that's accumulated in one of the glass windows beside the door, which is a very nice polished wooden door. And you peer through, and you can see that a lot of the furnishing inside has kind of been moved to the sides of the walls. So nothing is arranged as it would be in a normal house. It's almost like things have been packed up. Um, the only things that do seem to have some semblance of an like organic arrangements are a fair manner of potted plants that are placed and clearly maintained. So while there's a gaping hole in the ceiling that shines quite a bit of light in, that's affording you good visibility into the house, clearly these plants are being watered and maintained. And in the center of the room, a figure stands, sort of matronly looking figure, which is just kind of the sun is beaming down straight upon her through the gaping hole in the roof. But for the moment, she's not moving.
Hmm. There's a lady in there.
Does she look like a puppet?
Can I look and see if she looks like she has strings?
Yeah, I'll say with your investigation, you're able to see in the shimmering of the light some strings, but not as many as Hildy. Seem to just be attached to her arms.
Hmm.
Young men, I have a bit of an idea. Let's go out. Let's run. Step back outside for a second. And I'm gonna waddle on over and plop down. Actually, not plop down. I very extremely painfully and creakily get down and squat, just kneel next to the
You hear a lot of like,
wildflowers. It's so many. It's a nonsensical amount of pops. Um, I will put down my knitting needles, crack my knuckles, which is far more cracks than there should be. Um, it sounds like popcorn. Oh my god.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna cast Speak with Plants.
okay, what does speak with plants do?
I speak with plants.
Well,
I get that. I'm hoping you can describe for our rampant audience.
I am imbue plants within 30 feet of me with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with me and follow my simple commands. I can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day. Be nice to me, DM. Gaining information about creatures that are past, weather, or other circumstances.
Okay.
Hello, plants. And this lasts full or 10 minutes.
Oh, a plant.
Oh my gosh!
do your best wildflower
Plant.
voice.
Okay.
What is it? Hello,
You have to talk to it
plant.
first. I'm a
What?
plant.
Okay, no, I. Oh, it sounds a little bit like me. Isn't that fun? Hello, plant. What is this place?
Greetings, this is Valestone.
Thank you. I can hear that much better.
I could see that my levels weren't working.
Um, yes. There seem to be puppets around.
Puppets? Probably from Moira.
Oh, who's that young man?
Odd girl.
Oh, what kind of odd girl? There's many
Sweet,
kinds of odd girls. Sweet.
sweet
Do you like her?
girl.
Is she your sweetheart?
Tends to the flowers.
Is she your sweetheart, young man?
She planted us.
Oh, that's very nice of her. Is she connected by all the strings too?
Don't know.
Oh, is she up to? Is she a mischievous young lady?
No. Just weird.
Oh, hmm. What's your favorite color?
Whatever color I am.
Oh, that's very nice. I might be colorblind, so I won't tell you what that is.
Vyke and Stangelo can tell that he's a very lovely shade of lavender.
Are you
Oh,
speaking
it's
to the plant in common, or are you speaking plant language?
Doesn't it come from
Like,
your
can we-
mind? It's like mental, right?
I don't know. It's
I'm
whatever
pretty
is
sure it's.
funniest.
I think it's mental. So the two of you, Stangelo
Okay.
and Vyke, just see Gramby and this flower like making intimate, what would be eye contact, and sometimes she just goes, "Hee."
Oh, young man, do you have any questions for this plant? He's a very nice fellow. Actually, I shouldn't presume.
Are you congested and your nose running? What's
Oh,
happening?
Hello, Elora, it's me, Gramby.
she's a grandma.
I gathered that.
So
Are you sure? Because I've also been congested and having a runny nose.
you guys knows.
I'm relaying as much as I can. Some stuff might get lost in translation, whatever.
Why don't you could you ask this young individual if they know where Elder Jennings' house is?
Oh, where's Elder Jennings' house?
I do not know where Elder Jennings lives, but I have heard the name here before.
Could
That's
you
very helpful.
could you ask about the fire, when that happened and why?
There was fire here once. Do you know what happened?
No fire before I was brought into this world. No
Have you
fire
heard
since I've been brought into
stories?
this world, rather.
Have you heard stories?
Only one
Great
voice.
tales
Only
from
one
your
voice.
elders?
Only one voice rings through these hallowed walls now. Moira's.
Oh,
Where is she? Or I guess, would you mind
where
asking?
is that young lady? I would like to meet her for planting such beautiful flowers.
Haven't seen her in a day or two.
Hmm. Has there been any bloodshed recently?
Not that I am aware of.
Oh, that's very good. Your town's safety rating must be quite high.
Can you ask why he calls this place Valestone? I forgot to do a voice. Why he calls this place Valestone if we know it as Conway's Ferry?
It's
This
Valestone.
Conway's, there was literally a sign on the way in, young man.
Oh, I thought we were at Conway's Ferry, but they were
I
calling it
think we're like
Valestone.
You're in the
outside of-
general vicinity of. You're in the area between Conway's Ferry and Mercier, and
Mercier.
you've
Ah,
stumbled
yes, I
upon this
understand.
small town.
Yep. Saw that sign and it looked like it said alone, which is very edgy and probably hip with the youngsters. But if you put the solid letters back in there, it says Valestone.
Well done, Gramby.
Oh, I'm sharp as
I feel the need to remind you once again that whips are not sharp.
They do cut you though.
They can cut you. I have the scars to prove it.
Gramby into some kinky
Oh.
shit?
No, it was a very terrible ordeal, actually.
Oh.
I lost many good friends in that fight.
That's less of a fun story.
Yes.
Well, I guess we ought to try to find maybe Moira.
Or Elder Jennings. Or both of them. Yes.
Yes. Mr. Wild person. Esteemed wildflower. Which way did you see Myra go?
Don't know a Myra,
What?
and I can't see because I'm
Moira?
a flower. But I sense a presence nearby through my root system.
Thank you, that's Whoa, please sway in
Do you need a
Are we
break?
gonna be able to get through this?
Dude, doing that voice for so long really gets to you eventually. Holy shit, okay. Yeah, what? Which way? Which way was the presence?
I feel it in the house.
Which house?
I think this one. Well, I guess I'm not part of this conversation, but
Oh shit, that's crazy.
This house.
okay.
I relay all that to the nice young men that are with me.
You don't remember our names, do you?
Birds. Vyke and Stangelo and Poplio.
There you go.
But you're
Well
nice
done.
young men.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, I guess with that, it's probably the woman I saw in the window. So
Oh,
let's give a knock.
that
Knocking
was a third
returns
level spell.
no response.
Um, can I try to fiddle with the knob?
The door opens to you without any real issue. In fact, you get the sense the hinge was broken a long time ago. Um, the hinge is going to squeak lightly as they open, um, and you're able to walk into the room where the furniture has been like moved, as you noted through the window. Now that you're able to get a closer look at the figure inside, this kind of matronly looking figure has a lot of plants, flowers, roses, and vines that have grown along her base. So her lower half is almost completely shrouded in plant life. And a family of birds has appeared to nest on her shoulder. She doesn't really move at all when you enter. But like her head pulls up just a little bit, and you can see that her eyes are painted shut. Um, and you just hear a very calm voice. Welcome, travelers.
You have a beautiful, garden, ma'am. I bet you could really teach some of the young scouts a thing or two towards getting their gardening badge.
Oh yes, gardening was one of my many pleasures.
Um, uh, s- I can't help but notice that a lot of the people in this town are puppets. Sorry, I
Oh,
don't know if that's rude to puppet
I
people, but
I don't know what you're talking about, dear, but I'm sure you might have many questions. Is there something that old Mrs. Jennings I can do for you?
um, well, I guess we'll start with introductions. Stangelo, uh,
Stangelo.
and I didn't catch your name.
So I am Elder Jennings.
Oh, cool. Well, uh, what's going on in Valestone?
Oh,
What's new?
nothing much that's new. Valestone is a lovely little paradise. Uh, our tiny little hamlet in a sea of green. Uh, there
Are
something
you
that
controlling the people here? Like, I mean, not like in a not to insinuate like a bad controlling. Just I meant like
oh,
I noticed that everybody's attached to strings.
no strings on me. Just little old Elder Jennings. Uh, and um, what brings you to Valestone, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, I was looking for customers to set up a little popcorn stand.
Oh,
Um, do your people eat food?
sure, we eat food. Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? And your companions, they're part of your popcorn stand?
Oh, in a sense,
In
I'm
a
a
sense.
paying customer.
Hmm,
my first.
good for you.
Would you like some popcorn?
Not at the moment,
We
no, but thank you. You see, I'm quite busy at the moment. Just a bit busy.
yes.
Busy, busy.
Uh, just wondering, do you know where we might be able to find Moira? I heard a rumor that she really likes popcorn.
Moira, such a sweet girl. Bit lonely, if you ask me, but just busy. Oh, so busy. I haven't heard that she likes popcorn. I'm not sure she even knows what it is.
I mean, it's popped corn. How can people not? It's sort of self-explanatory.
Oh, well, we've always been blessed with bountiful harvests here in Valestone. It's amazing we never decided to do anything with our corn besides eat it.
I mean, you eat popped corn. Are you
We
sure
eat,
you're familiar?
we eat corn,
But never popped.
not in any particular fashion, no.
Mm. Not even like kettle
Uh,
corn
We,
or
we typically take
caramel
it on the
corn.
cob, pluck it from one of our many overgrowing gardens, and eat to our heart's content.
Just corn?
Just, well, we have many other crops,
Oh,
potatoes and
okay.
wheat and barley.
Wheat?
Indeed.
I'm just happy she's happy.
Me too. She says it the first thing in 2 minutes and she laughs.
Well, yes. Oh, pardon, don't mind me asking. There appears to be several scorch marks around the place. Has there been a fire recently?
Oh, I would have no idea what you're talking about, dear. But there is the Valestone.
What
Quick
is
insight check.
Go ahead.
That is a 19 on her not knowing anything about the fire.
You can tell this individual is lying, and just based on having made an insight check against Hildy and Elder Jennings, you can also tell this is very clearly the same person. You're kind of hearing through voices that are being thrown to sound like other people.
I tug on Vyke's sleeve once again.
Yes, Gramby.
Young man, you're just having conversations with the same person over and over.
I wouldn't know anything about that, but perhaps I can tell you about the Valestone.
Please.
Well, the Valestone is quite a lovely thing. When people first found this place, they built the town around the rock, the Valestone. That is why they call it the Valestone, because it's built for Valestone. Hmm. Legend tells us that the Valestone grants one wish every generation, but the wish must not be born of selfishness. That's why we always have a bountiful harvest, lush corn, plenty of potatoes, and happiness, and no one ever finds out about Valestone. Because each year we gather around, we dance and we sing the hymn of the Valestone, and we make our wish when a new generation is born for happiness and prosperity.
You say every year, but this wish is only granted one in a generation.
Yes, I
Your
did. I
generation
definitely
time?
meant generation, not year.
Okay. Just trying to make sure your generation time is not very short.
I don't know. It's a regular generation.
Okay.
We don't
Is she,
leave.
Which is how long?
is she telling the truth?
Yeah. She's very clearly
Okay.
telling the truth.
Okay.
Well, it's a pretty standard generation. We don't live very long, maybe 60 or so years. The dwarfs have lived longer, but most of us are human. Um, and when a new child is born and they come of age, we have a new prosperity dance and a prosperity festival, and we make our wish, and it comes true.
When's the next festival?
Well, we haven't had a new generation in some time.
Why is that?
Well, I
Does
wouldn't know
everybody
any.
have erectile dysfunction?
I wouldn't know anything about that. Um, but I'm afraid I have my garden and my flowers to tend to, and I'm a bit busy at the moment. So, um, it's been lovely meeting you.
Busy.
But if you'd like to explore Valestone, you'd be most welcome here.
I'm gonna reach a hand up and just like touch one of the strings.
Mischief?
Which side do you touch? The left or the right?
Whichever I'm closest to, let's say left.
Okay. You tug on one of the strings, and a bird in the nest angrily guffaws at you as tugging on the string kind of jostles one of her arms around. She goes, "Oh, no, no, no. You really mustn't need to do that." And being this close, you can see that there's literally no physical affect. Like the head does not turn, the eyes are painted shut, the lips are not moving. The voice just kind of echoes through the house.
I'm terribly sorry, Elder Jennings. Where could we find Moira?
Oh, Moira, she's just so busy, that poor little girl. I wouldn't know where to find her this time of day. Perhaps you could try the tavern. Uh, she always did have a thing for Mirabelle.
Vyke will sort of turn and under his breath go, lesbians.
I have a feeling Moira is a child, like a child.
So what
But
if she's a lesbian? People have lesbian faces all the time.
Oh, not another phase.
My first wife.
Gramby has sucked and fucked her way across the entire continent.
God. Really,
I got around.
my favorite line from The Office is like, in the 60s, I had love all the time. It's possible a man slipped in there once or twice.
Should be no way to tell.
Like, I mean, no way to tell.
Yes. Well, thank you for your time, Elder Jennings.
It's my pleasure.
Let's have a little discussion outside, shall we?
yes.
You all depart the house.
Yeah, we'll walk outside. At least I will follow Vyke outside.
Things are kind of fucked up.
Yes. And we're definitely like getting the runaround.
At what point do we attack one of these puppets?
I was about to say maybe to draw Moira out, we could cause some mischief.
Or
Do we look for her in the tavern first, or do we attack one of these puppets?
we could either go to the tavern or we could go to the Valestone.
Go to the Valestone. Yes.
Yeah, that might be a good place to look because I feel like if we keep following wherever they tell us to go, we're just gonna run around in circles.
Keep
And
talking to the same puppet. It's the same one. We're not talking to anyone different. It's the same face and different voices. Wait.
same.
I believe it's the same face and voices.
That was a good way of saying
Yes,
it,
but
though.
it's
It's a very Granby thing to say, like an old lady thing to say.
I was getting married and it stopped one stop early.
So you're going to the Valestone?
Yes.
Where would you like to go?
Do we?
The
I guess we didn't know
Veilstone.
the
It's in the
Valestone.
center of town because the town's built around it and the town is a circle.
That's why they call it the Valestone.
And also because Chris described the town as a circle.
Very good. You walk to the center of the town, which is not a very far walk, and you find in the kind of overgrown um, town square that is actually a town circle, where there is a dried up well and a great number of overgrown roots and fields. A little like mosaic in the ground of carved and hewn stone, and the center keystone, which is a large hexagonal piece, is missing. There's a gaping hole where the veilstone doth not sit. But you
It
presume it might
appears
go.
somebody's taken the Valestone.
I almost took
Uh-oh.
it. Um. Well, guess we ought to find it. Um.
At the mention of the word well, I walk over to the dry well and look down.
You have superior dark vision, so you are able to see all the way to the bottom, where the well is largely dry. Like you can see the bucket kind of lying in muck, but some water remains that you could theoretically attempt to pull up. But you don't see anything of note beyond that.
I will do so.
You pull up the bucket and have a little half bucket of water.
Is there anything in the water?
Just water.
Well, that
Don't
was
drink it.
anticlimactic.
If you do, you could get giardia.
Did you have a waterborne illness phase, Gramby?
At least once.
Terrible stuff. Yes, well.
Oh no, we definitely learned about Giardia and traveler's diarrhea in the scouts in my first aid class.
Have you ever had it, young man?
It is the worst. It is absolutely the worst. I learned my lesson about.
I'm
boredom.
rather surprised that you have, seeing as you're a bit of a mamby-pamby.
Well, I haven't always been the top scout in my troop. I did unfortunately drink from some puddle of water to impress my fellow scouts, and it was rough.
That's it. That's the reason why you got it.
Yeah,
You've never done anything ridiculous with the approval of your peers?
Or heroic. In a survival situation.
I was asking you.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Wait, what was the question?
You've never done anything ridiculous to earn the admiration of your peers?
Constantly. Mostly in my youth.
That must have been a very long time ago.
It was.
Should we try to take the rest of the water out of this well, or is it just a well?
Where are you gonna put it?
On the ground. Dump it
I
out.
guess they're not using the water.
Perhaps we can give some to that nice flower you talked to earlier.
He was a nice young man.
I believe it was a gender-neutral flower, as
Shit.
most flowers have both male and female sexual organs.
You're correct. It's always difficult with flowers. It's a different mindset. I don't cast it a lot, but I should know better.
Well, you're a very old woman. You may be set in your ways.
I mean, a hallmark of being old is that you learn over time. So honestly, if you're really set in your ways, you really haven't learned anything, have you?
Slay, Granby. Slay.
That's
Oh,
very,
thank you.
very wise.
The well, so to fetch the rest of the water or no?
Wait, what are we doing with this well?
I'm just gonna use Mage Hand to start emptying out well water.
Shit, yeah, go for
Um,
it.
you take
Did I
up.
solve your well puzzle?
There is no. You just keep taking water out of the well. Water keeps appearing. Clearly, water is continuing to flow, but it's just a very slow flow. And it's a not clearly not a maintained well. Is the most that you can glean about this well, and well, that's all there is to this well.
There's
Have we
no.
pulled up at least a couple of coins that people tossed in there like a wishing well?
No, there's not enough water at the bottom of the well to enable enough water to accumulate in the bucket of the well to get coins from the well.
Oh,
No
neat.
human remains either.
No human remains.
No Valestone.
No Valestone. You get the sense from the gaping hole in the mosaic that the Valestone is quite large.
Okay. Um. Well, the
Huh,
next thing
well,
we had was the tavern.
let's go.
Ugh.
Even
Indeed.
though we're just talking to, I imagine Moira over and over and over again. But
That is a distinct possibility.
Let's go.
All right. You all enter the tavern. It's kind of small Tudor building. And as you take one step in, it seemingly springs to life. And this kind of like mechanical fiddler immediately to your right begins to grind and jerk to action, just playing a tune that does not resemble any of the movements that they are making, with this kind of like disorienting and like not very clear music emanating from a crate, from which the fiddler sits upon. This voice kind of rings through the entire building as soon as you fling open the cowboy saloon doors. Greetings and welcome to the Heart's harp string.
Is
Delicate
it the
and
same voice?
it's make an insight check.
Ooh, that's a good one. 22.
Yes, it is the same voice in a thrown accent. Um, welcome to the Heart's harp string. I can't remember. And you see the three figures in the bar are now like clearly animated. So you have the fiddler who's jerking about with his fiddle, and the individual behind the bar. Uh, go ahead.
I wasn't gonna chuckle until you did.
An individual behind the bar is kind of like delicate and beautifully detailed figure of a young woman whose hand kind of pops up and floats back and forth, not unlike a wave. Um, make a perception check.
Ooh, Nat 20.
13.
Um, both
I got a 6.
Gramby and Stangelo notice that this figure is easily the most meticulously maintained and like put together of any of the what you've now really clearly seen as puppets or marionettes. Um, She is like a very delicate and beautifully painted face, very warm and welcoming smile that seems to be perpetually painted on. She even her like bright blue eyes even have like flecks of silver in them, so they kind of glimmer in the light. She is the only piece that is dusted in the entire space, so everything else is this kind of like thin layer of dust that gets thrown up with every of their herky movements. Because I won't say jerky. Um, and she has this kind of like white lace blouse, and a very heavy locket around her neck. Just, I'm Mirabelle. Have a seat at the bar, if you please.
I turn to my compatriots and I sort of hold my hand over my face and I go, Lesbians!
I think so.
I sit down at the bar, though it takes me a minute to climb up there because I'm little.
In
Is
my
it?
mind, Gramby is 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, how tall is Granby?
Tall enough.
All
What
right.
race is
Like,
Granby?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
that's what
Fair.
happened when I asked how old Gramby was.
Oh, well, Granby, as you sit at the bar, you sit right next to especially in your diminutive state, a rather hulking figure leaning
Wait,
over.
my face is just poking up like this. Hello?
You sit next to a hulking figure with massive shoulders and a broad back that are held in place not by strings, as you've seen on the others, but rather heavy metal struts and hoses that link up to the ceiling. Where who rolled the nat 20? Stangelo. You follow those up and see there's a very clear, like, kind of plus sign embedded in the ceiling that the hoses and pipes can run through. His head kind of clicks towards you. Graham, he goes, "Nice to meet you. My name's Fergus, a big dumb idiot, and I like to drink."
So you can't even hear me. Hello, Fergus. You seem like a nice young man, but I'm here to talk to Miss Mirabelle.
"Oh, but I'm not a nice man. I'm a diarrhea baby moron, and I get in the way of everyone."
Okay, Fergus. Well, I'm not
"It's
here to
actually
talk to
fine that
you.
I'm not talking to you because I'm a bit busy at the moment. Always just a little busy.
Are you busy? Okay, bye.
Don't mind Fergus. He's a good chap and I love him, even though he's just kind of an ugly, mean, stupid bastard. Can I get you anything?
Oh, Mirabelle. Somebody who loved you once, right?
I don't know what you mean.
Is Myra there? Can we talk to her?
Oh, Moira? No. She's so nice and smart and probably really fun to be around. If only I'd just known to get her to know her a little bit better. I mean, if only I would get to know her a little bit better. But I'm just always so busy here at the tavern.
Miss Myra, please. We'd like to talk to you.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Perhaps I can get you something. Would you care for some ale? Or perhaps you would prefer that Priestley play something else? And she kind of gestures to the violinist in the corner.
I mean, if you're offering, I'll take 3 shots of tequila. Actually,
Oh,
4. I forgot about you for a second, Poplio.
I'm afraid we don't have anything like that. We only have uh, ale, if you'd care for it.
Oh, sure.
The fiddler will kind of stop their movements, and they kind of get pulled towards the bar, and they just start pulling things out from underneath the bar, um, and they slide a handful of brown bottles down towards you. Just so you know, the drinks aren't free, even if you've lived here your whole life.
Oh, I
Mira,
dislike that.
I have another question for you.
Go ahead, love.
Miss Mirabelle, not you, Mr. Fiddleman.
Go ahead. I mean, go ahead, love.
Oh. Miss Mirabelle, do you know a young lady named Myra?
Oh, yes, Moira, she's so wonderful and probably a lot of fun to be around. I only wish that I spend more time with her. I'm just always so busy here at the bar.
Miss Mirabelle, does Myra come here a lot?
I believe I used to see Moira in here quite a bit, but I haven't seen her in some time.
Was that before or after the fire?
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
Where did that lock
If
surround?
you ask me, Moira's just a big weirdo with horns, and we don't like outsiders here.
Why would you say that about yourself, Miss Myra?
I don't know what you're talking about. My name is Fergus. can't hold a decent conversation because I'm just a big dumb bastard.
Fergus, what's going on like upstairs? It seems like you
There
is
ain't no upstairs. This place is as big as my head, and empty as it too.
hmm. Seems like there's some like hoses things might be going up there. Moira, is that where you are? Did I misunderstand what you were saying about
Yes.
like this
Yes.
Evan?
Yeah, no, yes. I was like, who yes?
Yeah.
Yes, you are understanding what I'm saying.
Okay.
But at the same time, you're also getting the sense that like this is a very mechanical structure as opposed to the others that are more wood and strings. This is kind of trying to think of a way that isn't our current campaign. It looks mechanical in nature.
Okay.
Um, and this goes, I think if you're going to be asking all these questions about Moira, that little freak, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And he's going to bring like one of his big lumbering fists and pound it on the tavern bar. And it's, I think that they should stay. It's more than welcome that we have guests here in Valestone and that they seem welcome. Wouldn't you agree, love? I love you so much, Fergus, even if you are a giant idiot. No, I don't think so. I think that they should leave.
Gotta find the voice. Miss Mirabelle, begging your pardon, but where
Yes.
did that exquisite locket around your neck come from?
Oh, this is just a locket. It's my heart. And Fergus has the key to my heart.
Insight check. I want to know if the locket is not. I want to know more about where the locket is from. If she's telling the truth about that.
Okay.
As in, Fergus doesn't have. I'm suspecting that the locket is from Myra, not Fergus. Oh wait a second. Disregard everything. Go on.
I was gonna say it's gonna be hard to insight check that one.
Yep.
I'm going to. Oh, sorry, Evan. Were you going to do something?
Oh, I was just say, seems like y'all have a lovely establishment here. Do y'all are y'all two together? Do you have any children, perhaps?
No children. I am betrothed to Fergus, and while I can't wait to marry such a bumbling oaf like him, it is my father's direct wish that I have a good man by my side.
I would like to investigate Fergus and see if there are any openings that might hold a key.
Make an investigation check. And are you just looking, or are you also like attempting to physically?
I'll give him a pat down.
Okay.
It'll be uncomfortable. Do I get advantage for patting him down?
No, just changes how you. Yeah.
Well,
you do.
yeah, 14.
So I'll say like meandering your way through the mechanical structure of Fergus, you find that they are quite well built, but that they do have a kind of chain clenched in their fist, but their fist does not move. So you are able to see that there might be something on the other end of that chain, but you're not able to quickly easily glean what. But as you like grope him, he will shift entirely from like his kind of seated position and stand and wave his arms up and down. He goes, "You're asking for a fight, and if it's a fight you want, the big baby diarrhea moron will give you one." And I will have you all roll initiative.
Ooh.
What is
Guess who
that?
has a -2 to initiative?
Guess who rolled a 2 on initiative?
Um, Stangelo. Stangelo or
Stangelo.
Stangelo? Like Jello.
Angelo? Like,
Like
yes.
D'Angelo, but
Steph,
Stangelo
do you have a
instead.
big cut on your leg?
What?
Do you have a big cut
Oh,
on
it's
your leg?
paint.
Oh,
Paint. Yeah.
I was gonna say
Uh,
that was pretty narnar.
it
Nope,
does.
it's all paint.
You also know that kind of mirroring the plus sign in the ceiling is kind of a worn down plus on the floor. Like where
Ah,
like
okay.
something has clearly tread quite a bit. Um, what did everybody get for initiative?
4.
12.
Wait, no. There we go. 6.
All right. Stangelo got a 12, you said?
Yes.
And Vyke got a 2.
I got a 4 because I got a +2 to initiative.
Got it. Vyke. Okay. So Fergus will kind of move around and he will immediately attempt to punch out at you with his fist. Vyke. And are you hit by a 15?
Sure am.
Okay. So that is 5 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And he's going to just kind of like spin really fast and attempt to punch the next person closest to him, which is Gramby. But I assume you're not hit by an 8.
No.
Okay. And so he'll end his turn. And as he kind of spins in a circle, you hear another voice go, oh, great, another fight with Fergus. Oh. And everyone make a perception check.
11.
10.
23.
Everyone hears another fight with Fergus. Oh, that one. I mean, and it is now Stangelo's turn.
Um, I'm gonna cast Thorn Whip. And can I aim for like the plus above him?
You can aim for the struts and things of that nature that connect him to the plus.
Yeah. Can I try to whip that and like
Sure,
pull it down?
go ahead.
What is it? That is a 21.
That hits. Does Thorn Whip have any like area effects or anything like that?
No, it just it so it does its damage, and then I can pull the target up to 10 feet to me.
Okay, so you're gonna pull on the struts,
Yeah.
and are you pulling it on the track or off of the track?
I guess like off the track.
So roll your damage, and that will determine
Okay.
the DC of the strength saving throw.
2.
Okay, it's gonna be a high DC. Um,
Snake eyes.
and as you kind of reel the whip out and yank on the strut, you see that it bends ever so slightly, and you hear and you can see there's kind of like a hitch now, but it is not completely off the track. Are you doing anything else
Um
with your turn?
uh I will so we decided the Thorn Whip was that like melee a spell attack. Is that
Mm-hmm.
the same as like an attack like
If you
for
have 2 attack actions, you can cast 2
yeah.
spells. Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll try it again.
Okay.
Um that is a 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
A little bit better. 7.
Okay. So the DC will now be a little bit lower.
Okay.
But unfortunately, very difficult to rip iron out of iron. But you now see that you've kind of bent it so much that it can't really move anymore. So it's kind of like at an angle that it would prohibit the strut from moving cleanly through the groove in the metal.
Okay.
Make a perception check.
That is a 22.
You hear a little whisper. Blast it!
Wait, what?
You hear a little whisper of blast it! And it is now Gramby's turn.
So it's just Fergus that we're fighting?
Correct. Was a
And he looks pretty
large.
messed up with
So he's a large, like copper, brass, and iron construct that resembles a human figure. He looks completely fine. The struts attaching him to the ceiling have been messed up by Stangelo.
and you
Stangelo.
said
Why can't I do that?
wasn't he like also attached with like a bunch of hoses and stuff?
That's what Stangelo is going for.
Can I aid Stangelo's goal by making Fergus do a strength saving throw?
Sure.
I'm casting a spell.
He's very good at those, but yes. That shouldn't change your mind. I shouldn't have told you that.
It didn't. I'm
Okay.
not my mind's not changed.
Okay.
What is it?
He has to roll it now? You don't want to say what you're
Yeah.
casting? Okay. He rolled a 23.
Fuck. Where's Branwyn? Make him do silvery barbs.
Oh wait, I have silvery barbs. Silvery
Yes!
barbs. I forgot I had that.
He rolled a 22.
Fuck.
Okay.
Oh, I was casting entangle and I wanted to tangle up his ropes. I was gonna flavor it so the ropes got all tangled.
Gotcha.
But instead nothing happened.
Okay. In that case, it is.
I used to be better at that a couple
It is-
years ago. Handful of years ago.
Vyke's turn.
I will take aim at those struts and fucking Eldritch blast them.
Roll to hit.
Whoa.
Are we hit by 16?
We are.
Okay, that's 11 force damage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it again. Are we hit by a 25?
Yes.
I would. Okay. That's another 8 force damage, but I think I got it on the first one. So.
Yes. So no, you would have needed one more strike to get there.
Okay.
As your second blast fissures through the air, it cuts clean through one of the iron bars that are now bent, and it just kind of cleaves it in half. And what the top angle flies out of the construct in the ceiling, kind of tatters to the side. And the hoses connecting Fergus to the ceiling now bear all of the weight of this massive construct and start to snap, 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 snap as he creaches. Oh no, not again, not again, not again! As it crashes to the floor, the heap. Ending combat.
We did. I mean, you two did it. I tried.
We solved his Fergus puzzle.
We solved the Fergus puzzle.
As Fergus kind of hits the ground, he kind of just like rotates back and forth, attempting to punch you consistently before realizing that it's just like punching into the ground. And inevitably you hear like a as the final hose detaches and the limbs start to kind of like lose their rigidity, and inevitably the hand kind of opens up, revealing a small key in its hand.
I pick up the key.
You have a key.
Whoa!
I look at Mirabelle and I just say, pardon me for being. Oh, that's a Willem voice. Where was it?
Anjin.
Pardon me for being ungentlemanly. And I
There we go.
fiddle with the locket and the key.
You notice
Or
that
attempt
Mirabelle does not respond at all to your intrusion. And that inserting the key into the locket actually pops open her entire chest.
Oh dear. I
So-
dare to question a woman's virtue.
It swings open, and you just see this kind of like inner,
A plague on our society.
and you just see this inner wooden cavity that has a small wooden heart inside with the
I
word.
reach up to cover Estangelo's eyes, but I can't reach. I'm too short.
I'm a halfling.
Yeah, he's a halfling. You actually can
D'Angelo's
reach.
also short as fuck.
I'm still too short somehow. My arms
Oh,
are
really?
so stubby.
You just can't lift them. That's the thing. You can't lift the arm.
They arthritis.
Um, and yes, the heart has the word Mora delicately carved into the front of it.
Does it come out?
Yes, you can. If you attempt to remove it, you can remove it.
You said it's made of wood?
Yes, just like all of Mirabelle.
I take the heart. I solved your wooden heart puzzle.
Nothing happens.
Or is
when you
it a
take
heart-shaped box?
That's my Nirvana impression.
What are you doing with that?
I don't know. It seemed
Oh.
rubber. Oh, and I sort of spin and I'm like, by the way, we heard you talking wherever you are.
I don't know what you're talking about. And suddenly the fiddle is French because I can't get back to my Tim Burton accent. But perhaps you should go see Mora's father. He would like to speak to you.
What if we just talk to Moira? That's what we're here to do.
We have not
We
seen
could
her
save
in.
a couple trips.
We have not seen her in some time. She is very busy, you see.
Where might we find her
love
father?
of club.
Well, you could go see Professor Balgrim at his home. It is just next to Elder Jennings' house.
Stop sending us to see people. I'm old. I could die at any moment.
But then
Could
the
you
fact that
really?
you're
Could you really?
You know what? I'll roll a D100, and if I get a 69, I'll die right here.
Man, that would be crazy to just call it out like that. Like,
I'm
have
dying
100
on a 69. That's a 65.
Gramby's a bit of a gambler.
I came pretty close. You better lead me to that lady, nice young lady. Right now, I could die at any moment.
Make a
It's my
persuasion.
dying wish.
Make a persuasion check.
I feel like there should be an
Okay.
intimidation check almost.
I'm threatening you with my own death like a real parent would.
Someone in the chat
I'm
has
sorry, I'm such a bad grandma.
someone in the chat has declared this holy meme characters, but I think it's really only one.
What?
What are you talking about?
Oh, hogwash. That's an 11.
I really,
I'm shaking my knitting needle at him.
I must insist that you go see Professor Balgrim.
Son of a bitch.
Perhaps Professor Balgrim also knows something about the missing Valestone. The Valestone, which is missing, which you
Hear
have.
that? Hear that, Myra? We're on to you, bitch.
You will have four capable adventurers. I don't mean to cast any aspersions, Poplar, at your service.
Not capable
Oh.
one.
Oh, no, he's just here. Don't worry about him.
Lad, it's not
Wait.
good to talk to the
There's
health
4
vendor.
of us, technically. Who's the not capable one?
I said 4.
Oh.
I said 3, and then I corrected myself to 4 because I had forgotten about dear Poplio. He blends right into the shadows.
He's very good at being not seen when he's not supposed to be.
I think he should always be seen, and you're being very classist. What?
Holds
He
up
likes
a
it.
lighter.
I'll blow this whole place. I'll burn it to the ground, I swear.
Make an intimidation check.
That's a 5.
You like kind of flick the lighter, but you like can't.
You do notice that all of the puppets in the room have stopped moving.
Okay, let's go see this thing. I'm not getting any younger though. I'm getting more old.
That is how time works generally.
What?
We tend not to stay the same age when we get old.
I don't know. I had a phase where I got like 10 years younger, but that was because of some fey magic tomfoolery that I won't get into. I had a
Yes.
fling with an archfey.
Vyke becomes visibly uncomfortable when you say this.
It was very passionate for about 32 years.
Fascinating. You should go see the professor.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
Gramby, if you'd like, you can regale us of other exploits on the way.
Other
We can slip
you
in.
don't want that one specifically?
Yes.
I'll give
It's
you
weird.
the opportunity to Sorkin to Professor Balgrim's house and exploit with the Archfey.
Oh, and these could get very sordid. It's a montage and it's not PG-13, let me tell you that.
It's like in Community where they're describing in the D&D episode.
Oh yeah, and he goes,
Yeah,
What?
and everybody's just looking horrified or enchanted.
oh yes, starts taking
Everybody
I
notes.
was
should.
very flexible at this point in my life, not like I am now. So much arthritis and gout.
Imagine
It
both physically and morally flexible.
inevitably you arrive at a house that is far longer than any of the other buildings in the town, with dark wooden shake roofs that sport impressive scorch marks. But this one has been the most like maintained in the sense that someone has clearly made an effort to rebuild this house. Um, the floor is dusted like on the outside. You can see like some of the plants are more well maintained and patched up on the exterior of the house. Um, and these kind of like sturdy looking cobblestone pillars shore up corners of the home. Um, by and large, it actually feels lived in as you arrive.
Finally, we are here at Jarl Balgruff's house.
Um, Nothing to do but knock. I mean, I guess.
I'm just gonna walk in.
That's so
Vike,
uncivilized.
as you walk in, you see a cozy seating area that greets you. There are all manner of toys and gadgets and gizmos aplenty. It's tools hanging
And
on
who's
every
it's and what's it's
and who's
galore.
it's and what's it's galore.
Got
Um,
thingamabobs.
Tools that hang on every wall of the warmly lit living space. Fire is burning in the fireplace. Two large, cushy chairs face them, clearly sat in. The dust is cleared. It's a very well maintained and clean house. Rows and rows of books lining the walls, and there are two doors that lead out to this kind of large kitchen and seating area, both right next to each other. One short and wide, and one tall and thin. However, on the far side of the room is a bit of like a workshop almost, with a dusty cot lying in the corner, and a stout dwarven figure sits at a tool bench, smiling down at a small, half-constructed marionette. He says thinning black hair. It's kind of pulled into a braid that's streaked with white and gray, and he has goggles that Stangelo you feel are quite familiar.
Hmm. Can I roll like a history check to see if I recognize these goggles?
You recognize them from the head of the girl that you saw when you first entered the town. They seem to be a very similar pair.
Okay. Um, are you are you a real person?
How are you? I'm Professor Balgrum Silversmith. Before we get started, I got a question for you. Whose name is written on me heart? And he's going to pop open his chest cavity and kind of gesture to a trio of hearts that sit on the workbench in front of him.
What do the hearts say?
There are 3 hearts on the bench. One reads Valestone, one reads Jennings, and the other reads Creation.
Is this a puzzle, sir?
I
Do you
just,
puzzle us?
I do not puzzle you. I just like to see who people think me true affections lie.
I will pull out the heart that says Moira and put it in his chest cavity.
Ah. And the figure kind of pulls up and down as though it is breathing. He goes, Moira loves me so, but she never took the opportunity to tell me how much. Always so busy, that little girl. Always so lonely. Always so busy, busy.
Busy, busy.
Yes. Have a seat.
Moira is your daughter?
I'll tell you the whole tale, if you'd have a seat. I'd like to
I
tell you a
hop into that
story.
big cushy chair and get so comfortable.
I'm just gonna go
I
crisscross.
own a bone.
The puppet turns, its arms kind of glittering, and it keeps going like this, as though telling you a story.
It's the Bethesda sit down motion.
Yes. And to answer a question in the chat, the dwarven marionette is a 13 on the hot scale.
Whoa.
Yes.
How hot are all of we? I mean, Stangelo's a teenager, so.
Yeah.
But how much of a teenager? Are we talking like 18 or 19 where it's technically okay?
No, he's a kid.
No, he's a child? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm rolling for Gramby.
So, Vyke, you
I
can
think-
also roll, and you can do so with advantage, given that you have described your character as Timothy
Gramby?
Oliphant. No, Vyke.
Oh.
Do I get any
Um,
modifiers?
No.
I'll take a 12.
You've been age has not been kind to you, but people can tell that at one point you were a very dashing fellow.
I got a 9.
Similar for Gramby.
Hundreds of years ago, Gramby used to be slamming, you know it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know it. Hundreds? Question mark.
Question mark.
Thousands?
You don't know. She's in her late 50s.
The marionette kind of keeps going. This is, I tell you a tale, so that you might understand how I came to be the father of Moira. I was once a respected dwarven engineer in Cottadine, but grew tired forging weapons of war. I wanted to spread joy with me toys, and so I applied those engineering skills and brought joy to others with these wee puppets that I make. Started making the finest wood-carved toys you'd ever seen. Clockwork wanderers, lifelike marionettes. I enjoyed peace for years. I'd take my craft from town to town, trade along Mercier and Conway's Ferry, until one day I found myself devoid of paints. It takes quite a bit of painted ink to keep these lifelike marionettes feeling so lifelike, and I went looking for paint berries. Only paint berries can make the types of pigments that I look for. That's right.
I don't know why I'm laughing about paint berries,
Yeah.
but
It just seems like it was really fun to say.
Paint berries. But I couldn't find any. It's a bit of a drought for paint berries. I searched the countryside far and wide, much, much further than I normally would need to. I was searching this paddock of trees not too far from here. And I heard something quite funny. Sounds of a mewling little baby. And there, behind a rock, a little elf girl. No ordinary elf girl, though. She had peculiar horns growing out at her temples. But don't bother me. She's just a sweet little girl lost and alone in the wilderness. So I took her, and she joined me on me travels. And it was not long before I stumbled upon Valestone. and I sewed the people of Valestone my toys, and we became part of the community. But as Moira, that's what I called my little girl that I found in the woods that day, grew, so too did the horns. I raised her here in town as my own, taught her all that I could of puppet and toy making and of engineering. She took to tinkering like a duck to water. But as she grew, so did the horns. And while they were inexplicable, folks here didn't like that very much. She was tall and thin, like an elf, and those peculiar things sprouting from her temples, but the poor dear acted much more like a dwarf than an elf, and so she was a bit peculiar. People didn't like that very much. So we spent most of our days together. Didn't leave the house very much. But that's okay. She kept busy. Busy, busy. But every now and then she'd head out into town, and she took a special interest in that Brook girl, Mirabelle. More than just a budding friendship, I told Mora that she should follow her heart. A fair young thing. Mirabelle is a bit older than her. I can hear you saying something, but we can't hear what it is.
Oh, I just said age gap lesbians.
Ah. Moira spent the whole summer building this wee little music box for Mirabelle as a gift. I was so proud. But Farmer Brooke came by one day, told me I needed to put an end to this perverse nonsense. That Mirabelle was betrothed to Fergus. The Fergus family's well off. They were always well proponents of my business, and certainly I told Moira that she shouldn't give up. Just because there's a goalkeeper doesn't mean you can't score.
Play.
But I also told her to be careful and not to get her heart broken. Well, unfortunately, she came back one day bruised and bloodied. Fergus had shoved her to the ground, gave her a bit of a kicking after she attempted to woo Mirabelle. Mirabelle told her under no small duress that she had chosen Fergus Dirkwallop. But she was devastated. Lost a fight, lost her lady. And even my love for her couldn't coax her out of a deep depression that she'd fallen into. So she returned to the workshop, never really doing much beyond that. But the next summer, a visitor came to Valestone. Handsome fella. Name of Shadrach. Mora took a shine to him. At first I didn't mind. She needed a friend after all these years. Shadrach told him of all the places that she had travelled, the beast he had slain, the interesting creatures he'd met along the way. And Shadrach was the only one that took an interest in her for who she was. After a couple times, she didn't even wear the goggles over her head to hide her horns. But one day she came back to me and said that she had told Shadrach all about the Valestone. The Valestone is secret. We don't share the hymn, not to outsiders. And to many, Moira was looked upon as an outsider. So the fact that she had told anyone, I knew there'd be hell to pay if something were to happen. And something happened indeed. I scolded Moira for the first time that night. Told her she had done a horrible thing. Really gave her the what for. She wasn't too busy that night. Ran off and I didn't see her. That was the last time I saw her, at least. Well, until that day. Shadrach had disappeared for a day or two. And when I hadn't seen Moira, I went looking for her. And she had gone looking for Shadrach. But he came with another, and another, and another. Lit the whole place ablaze. Killed everyone. Had Moira not been on the outskirts, she might have been felled herself, but I was able to crawl my way to her. And as I saw the light leaving her eyes, I gave her the only potion we had. And that was the last she saw of me. That was the last I saw of him. As a figure comes from around the corner, crying. It was dark. I could smell the smoke. I heard all the screams, and he told me he loved me, and he was wheezing, and he looked so hurt and bloodied. I passed out again, and when I woke up, he was gone.
Vyke is gonna walk over, arms outstretched, to give her a hug.
So does Gramby.
She accepts the hug and kind of just cries into your shoulders. She's very frail and like tiny young thing. She's clearly like still by elven standards a teenager. Um, and just kind of, I did what I did. I ruined everything. I thought I could fix it if I got busy. So I put them all together again. And I couldn't find the Valestone. I figured this was the best I could do for them. She kind of gestures to a lot of the marionette pieces that are lying about.
Young lady, I think you did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give her the old Matt Damon and say, "It's not your fault."
What Matt Damon picture
And
is
I
that
think that's
from?
actually Robin Williams to Matt Damon in Goodwill.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's Matt Damon. I thought you were gonna say we should buy a zoo.
I was gonna say he would do the same for me. Oh man.
I know where it
You
is.
are. Oh,
I know where they are. Shadrach. I keep to the mountains not far from here. I don't know why. I've been here all along. I haven't been quiet. They could come and kill me whenever they want. I thought about just going there, but I feel like I have to keep busy. They sacrificed themselves because of me. Died because of me. I owe it to them to stay alive. So I just keep up this charade.
Young lady, does it make you happy?
Anything but happy. Everyone in this town is dead because of me. I
it's not
thought
your
I could
fault.
get to the stone and make it right, make a wish, bring it all back, but it's gone now.
How
You
long
mean
ago?
in the kindest of terms, young lady. But they're not coming back, and if you keeping them around doesn't make you happy, then it's not worth doing.
But they could come back. And maybe you all have been so kind, and you were able to beat Fergus because you were so smart. Maybe you could go and get the stone back.
Let's pardon us for one moment. I'm very sorry, young lady. Uh, what do we do?
Well, it doesn't seem like this Shagrock man is up to any good. Seems like a bit of a dick. So I think he doesn't deserve to have whatever magic that is. But also, I think this young lady needs a nice meal.
I agree. She needs a lot of things.
What has she been? What have you been eating?
Well, I mean, there's jerky and pickles, and I'm able to scrounge up things from things that the villagers left behind, and some of the crops still grow, and I tend to them, but I stay busy. Always busy. Very busy, busy.
How long ago did all of this happen?
2 years.
Ah,
He's just a little. Yeah. Chris! How about tonight we plan, but also you will help me make a nice dinner for all of us, and we'll get some meat on those bones.
Oh, oh, okay.
And you will not be busy. You will sit and enjoy a nice
Oh,
dinner.
but I really should stay busy.
Nope,
There's so much to do.
nope, you're gonna find a nice book. Probably one with a whole bunch of smut in it, and you will sit and read and eat a nice dinner and go to sleep.
But you'll help me?
Of course, young lady.
we will help you.
I don't think I've ever done something that wasn't for a badge. Maybe ever. But yes.
I'll put a hand on Stangelo's shoulder and I'll go, young man, I think it's time you earned your heroism badge.
For the first time, I don't feel like I need it.
This is the most wholesome one shot. Oh my god.
Very good.
Look at us being nice.
Now let's make dinner.
All right. I'll say for the sake of time that you all make dinner and have a pleasant evening with Mora. She's rather skittish and still wary of all of you. But for the first time, you also note that she kind of like takes off some of the woodworking and metalworking attire that she has on. So she removes the kind of the heavy leather apron, puts on a clean shirt, as clean as one can be when it's clearly hasn't been washed in 2 years. And she also removes the goggles. And removing the goggles kind of gives you further visibility into these kind of two thin horns that rise up and into her dirty blonde red, like kind of like strawberry blonde hair, that while messy and tangled, um, is like kind of wrapped around the horns in different directions. And she kind of eyes you nervously as she takes them off, but doesn't call any attention to them.
You know, like I recall that you did quite the nice hairdo for your daughter back in the day.
I can do a mean French braid, yes.
Why don't you fix this while I'm making these Brussels sprouts? Why don't you fix this young lady up with some nice braids?
Would you like that, young lady?
Uh, um, sure.
How old are you?
Um, I don't know, maybe a little over 80?
Just a young whippersnapper.
Could you put that in human terms? I mean,
I don't know. I guess like 15, 16?
yes, well, I have a daughter who is a little bit younger than you biologically, but you are much older than her temporally.
Oh, I see.
Yes, when she was young, I used to braid her hair. My wife was never any good at it, you see.
Well, that's nice of you. My
I'll
father
sit
used to
down
do the
and
same.
braid her hair.
Um, while you all are braiding her hair and eating dinner, she tells you that Shadrach is and his bandits are holed up in a mountain about a day's journey outside of Valestone. And that she's seen them coming and going from the surrounding regions, and she knows they pass by Valestone, and she knows that like her work is visible, but they've never bothered her since.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Sometimes I just wish they would come and kill me.
No, 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 no. That's not going to happen.
I mean,
We're
maybe
not
that's what
going
I
to let that happen.
deserve.
No,
I
no,
shouldn't be
it's
the
not
only
your
one that
fault.
survived. I'm not even from here. These people died because of me, and they didn't even. I'm not even a part of this community.
Oh,
Of
none of
course you
that.
are.
You were a part of this community, you know, you and your father. Just because you're from outside doesn't mean anything. Plenty of people move, and it's not your fault. And you will not die. You're still here for a reason. A hitherto undiscovered reason, but a reason nonetheless. And you have the most
One day
elegant
when
hand.
you're old as me, you're gonna look back at this moment when you're saying these things and having all these self-destructive thoughts like, why did I survive? And you're gonna say, that's a load of horse piss. What a silly thing to think.
If you're so sure, I can show you the way tomorrow. You all are quite selfless too. Go and get the stone back.
Um, I do have to ask a question, and you know, pardon me. I know this is dreadfully rude, but those horns are very peculiar.
I've always had them.
Do you have any idea why?
No.
Ah,
Father used
well,
to say I was the only one he'd ever met with them.
Chris, in my many, many years of being an adventurer, have I seen anything like this?
You have not.
Mm,
Oh.
well, pardon me if this is a strange thing to say, but I think they rather suit you. They give you a
They're
distinguished
pretty
look.
tight as shit, man.
You think?
I do think. I can
I'm a
understand why some
14-year-old
people.
boy, and I know cool shit, and that's pretty cool.
Look it, two youths. You two should talk.
Only two other people have ever said that about me. About them. Father and
Who was that?
Father and Shadrach.
Well, at least I'm in half good company, huh?
Thank you.
This Shadrach fellow, does he do magics?
I don't think so. He always just talk about how he was a wizard with a blade. Dual scimitars. Carries them around
A
everywhere he goes.
blizzard.
Swords.
Yeah. Curved swords.
I
Unfortunately,
heard
that's
that.
also pretty cool.
That sounds sick as shit.
Are any of you doing anything before you retire for the evening, so that you can plan on the way, given that you have accepted?
Retire? I don't dream of it.
I'm
Do any
just
of y'all
2
want to send
ways away. What's that?
do any of y'all want to send a message via bird? I can do that
To
if
who?
anybody has anybody that you need to talk to.
Can I ask an associate of mine somewhere if they would have room for a very peculiar
Oh,
young lady with
um,
the hankering for the tinkering?
I was actually planning to ask if she would like me to adopt her.
So
Oh,
sudden.
oh,
She
that's
seems
a
a
big
nice
step.
girl.
Are you
I
saying this in
won't
front
send
of her?
that bird.
I assume we're off to the side.
Yes.
That is a very good thing. I
fair.
think you're just the guidance she needs.
My wife could use the help around the house, and you know, I think
You're
she would
gonna
be.
use her as a child slave?
Well, no. My wife could use some help with the chores, and I think she'd be a good role model for my girls.
You're gonna make
There is a
this
difference
genius
between.
young
Oh,
lady do chores? You know what?
She
I'll
is.
take her. I'll adopt her.
I'm not going to use her as a slave. I
I
mean, if you
think
wish,
I've got great,
yeah, she'll be help.
great,
she won't be help.
great.
She'll be a child.
I'm
Children
not
help
going
around the
anywhere.
house.
She interrupts your argument as you all are talking very loudly. I'm not going anywhere. If you help me
You
get the
know what?
Valestone back, I'm gonna make this right.
You know what? Let's make
Oh.
this a problem for after we get the Valestone back. And then we'll talk.
Yes. I would question you, young lady. Often when we ask for things of magical means, though the meaning may be clear to us, it's twisted by entities,
Monkeys?
manipulated.
The monkeys?
Well,
I myself have an arrangement that me retrieve my leg and gain some particular abilities, but the deal is not what I thought I would be getting into.
well, I understand that, and I appreciate your advice, but we've made wishes to the Valestone every generation. I've been here for 2 of them. We're due for a third.
What were the wishes?
Well, we always wish for a fruitful year. And every year we had a bountiful harvest, and babies were born, and the town prospered. There's a
That
whole,
happens in a lot of places.
not like here.
With that,
We never had a drought. We never had a need for food. Nobody ever died before their time. There's a whole song about it.
your father mentioned, yes.
Before the world held flesh and bone, it was fire, water, sky, and stone. The magic came unto the land, and with it woman, child, and man. The fires they grew cold and died. The water changed with every tide. The sky would shift from night to day, but magic and stone always stay. And thus the Veilstone was given birth from Mother Magic, Father Earth. The strength of
This is
stone,
bars.
the strength of stone and magic's greed could grant a wish devoid of greed.
Did you say screed?
Devoid of
Creed.
greed.
What rhymes with greed though? I thought you said screed.
Creed.
Creed.
Creed. Yes, no
Yes.
S.
Like where blind men see.
Oh.
Mm.
Can you take me higher?
So let's go there.
What were we talking about?
Stones.
Rolling ones.
Rolling,
Yes.
rolling.
I guess.
I'll say in this time you all kind of take a long rest. And you are now.
I need to use the bathroom. I will be right back.
We will take a short break.
I sleep like the dead.
All right, and we're back. And we have decided that we will actually end here on a long rest, and our one shot becomes a two shot. We had previously canceled next Wednesday and rescheduled to Thursday. You'll now get Nat20Hot 2 for the price of one. So join us on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central for the conclusion of our Eusoniverse one shot. And then join us the following day on Thursday, March 21st, for another Return to Euson session 47 of Campaign 1 Into the Wild. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening. We'll see you again here March 20th. As always, you can follow us on Instagram at Nat20Hot, YouTube, catch up on all the episodes that you've missed, catch up on the campaign, youtube.com/@Nat20Hot. Visit us on the web, www.nat20hot.com, or get on TikTok before it's banned and follow us at Nat20Hot so that our short-lived mediocre fame can live on for just a few more days.
Mediocre. How dare you say that?
I
You
mean,
got thousands of views.
thousands.
Our TikTok manager is good at it. I don't know how TikTok works.
Halfway decent. Thank you all. As always, we are supporting Extra Life. You can find a link to our donation page in the chat. We thank you for joining us and hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you here next Wednesday, 8 Eastern. Good night.
Long live Gramby.